Hey guys, Bishme back with another video, and of course we have our SRO weekly analysis with our great friend Shiny Shuriken. If you want to say what's up.
What's up, guys? Happy to be back on Bishme's side.
Yeah, guys, if you missed the last week's analysis, it's gonna be on Shiny Shuriken's channel. Go ahead and check his link in the description. If you're new, definitely subscribe. I'm looking forward to running it back and forth with him. You know, the SRO, one of my favorite draft leagues, especially with this analysis. You know, it's always something going on, but you know, let's get into these power rankings now. Last week, to start the preseason, I was at 11. They had me not entering the playoffs, and you know, after my terrible performance in week 1, they had me falling a spot, which I definitely don't disagree with. You know, it was definitely not the best week 1 showing. What do you think about that?
Well, after you were done piecing the video back together, yeah, it was tough. I think the play just wasn't there. I think that there was, my opinion is that it was just like playing too much of what's in front of you. And, you know, granted it was a recreation, so it was like hard to think, like see your thought process throughout, but you were still walking us through it. So I don't think it was terrible. I mean, it was just a disadvantageous matchup against the Lycanroc at the end.
Yeah, something I definitely slept on. You know, I always talk about midday, but you know, Dust Lycanroc had to slap me silly this time and show me who's boss.
Yeah, them tough claws.
Yo, that's nothing to play with. And then you know, your movement after your win, you know, you go up a spot from 9 to 8.
Yeah, I had the 4-4 timer win, sorta, question mark. For those of you who don't remember, I mean, it was kind of a last second disconnect, so we didn't actually truly see the credits roll and see who actually had the HP win. Yeah. So I snagged it, and my movement upwards of 1 I agree with, because I think I played very strong. I made the right moves when I needed to. I didn't make any really big misplays or anything. I made a couple of things that I could have done better, but yeah, I like the movement. Yeah,
I mean, going into a battle with no prep and you know, a melodic with 3 moves, it still got the battle MVP. You know, I want to say you definitely did your thing in that battle, and you know, I agree with the movement up. You know, you're breaking into the top 8 right there. You know, hopefully I could kind of get there. You know, let's look into see how you did week 2 following your win, after that timer win. All right, so we get into the Shiny Shuriken's battle.
All right, we'll hit play in 3, 2, 1. So I went up against Coach Mountai and the Immunity Idols, and he had a tough team. We had only 3 out of the 6 predictions right.
Oof.
There wasn't tons of prep in this, but I basically just was like, I'm not going stall. I don't want to be the person bringing stall every single week. So I was like, you know what? Even if I can die from a high jump kick, we're just doing this. We're going to risk it. We're going, you know, I said it, the motto was full send it. Yes. So shout outs to Shade, apparently, who apparently, I gotta say apparently enough, made this motto. But
yeah, apparently he coined it, apparently.
Specs Heliolisk with a timid nature. We just get to volt switch around. You know, I played really well in this matchup here, I think. And immediately saw that the Vikavolt was Assault Vest. And
he ate that.
You know, we're calling this stuff really, really well. We're doing things. Vikavolt was definitely a tough one to deal with. Mountai actually went the opposite of me, and he went full stall.
Yeah,
he built a super bulky team, and I get it. But I'm not trying to play the timer every time. So there is offensive threat on my team, and I think that's overlooked. Surfetched, Heliolisk, even to an extent Mammal Swine, who Choice Banded could put some work in.
Mammal Swine, oh man. Yo.
So there's some opportunities here, and I'm not, I wanted to play predictions and stuff and do stuff, but I was like, you know what, we're clicking buttons. So a lot of my match was just playing what's in front of me. So I click Rock Slide on the Vikavolt, knowing it's an easy switch. And Wheezing comes in, and shout outs to you. It's a defensive wall.
Yeah.
Takes the Rock Slide really well. And I didn't do much prep outside of trying to put together a team that made sense for myself. I didn't look at his team and the move pools and all that kind of stuff. So I actually opt to just stay in here. I know it's not a neutralizing gas Galarian Wheezing, so it's actually Levitate, so I can't EQ. But I was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and hit it again. Let's see what he wants to do. And maybe we get a flinch Rock Slide, I saw that the black Sledge was there. And yeah, so I go ahead and just do it again. We don't get the flinch, but I get a clutch Will-O-Wisp miss.
Ooh. Yo, that would have messed up Mammal Swine big time. So,
and here's where I wish I would have made a better prediction, because honestly, staying in again would have been really cool. To be like, I know I think he's a good player. I don't know much about him, but he battles in a suit, so
yeah, so it's gotta say something about him.
And staying in would have been kind of cool, because there is actually a good chance he doesn't go for the second Will-O-Wisp. But again, I'm not trying to play super predictive like my normal way. I'm trying to just go. And so he actually switches, and holy crap, what a Rock Slide would have done there. I mean,
if you just clicked it again,
normal Mac probably would have taken that chance and clicked another Rock Slide. So missed opportunity, but I get my Flame Orb activation on my Lodic, which is very important for the battle to get that Marble scalability and be just a massive defensive unit.
Right, yeah.
That was my wall.
Taking hits.
Yeah. That was my wall, was my Lodic. Mammal Swine was actually max speed, max attack.
Oh, yo, a Rock Slide would have ate that Vikavolt coming in, man.
That would have been a dead Vikavolt, yeah. So I call the Energy Ball play, very easy. Like I said, I don't have any walls. Everything's offensive this week. So I have no switch. So Grimmsnarl takes it okay. He's got a little bit of a special defensive build, kind of relying on the Power Up Punch. It's actually the same Grimmsnarl I brought from the week prior.
Yeah, from the week before, yeah.
So he's ready to go. I'm kind of like trying to contemplate what I should do, if I should burn my Gigantamax. I was like, nah, he's going to switch. And I don't think I want to waste my Gigantamax on Galarian Wheezing.
Right.
So I actually just go ahead and I do make a little bit of a predictive play here. And I'm right. I go for the Thunder Wave and on the incoming Galarian Wheezing, and we do make that good prediction.
Yeah, and that was a great play, I want to say, for the full Sended model, getting the switch in, because, if Vikavolt stayed in, it wouldn't have done anything. So, getting that Thunder Wave off, I like it.
Yeah, I just wanted to play smart too. I mean, I didn't want to waste Grimmsnarl either. I thought he was important, especially the Thunder Wave, to get off on things like Roserade or Cinderace if I had that opportunity, which is really what I wanted.
Yeah, Thunder Wave in that Cinderace.
Yeah. So my switch on Wheezing every time is my Lodic, and I get an advantageous Para. So I've had a little RNG with the Will-O-Wisp miss and the Para, but I parried it for a reason, is to roll for some Para hacks.
Right. It's not like the Will-O-Wisp was definitely, RNG going your way a little bit, except in the case where you go for these Scalds.
Yeah, my RNG ran out here. So I clicked just the Stab Scald to hit. And I actually, I assumed that the Vikavolt was going to be coming back in, but I was like, you know what? Let's get this burn.
Right.
So I didn't get it on the first one, which is fine. It's only 30% chance.
Only 30%,
I'm sitting here, I'm thinking through, all right, what's Umbreon going to do to me? I don't have an attack stat. It can't foul play me. Is it Snarl? That'd be pretty cool if it was Snarl. So then he wishes, and it's like, I haven't put damage out on anything. Who's he wishing to?
Right, like who is he trying to pass this into?
So I'm just sitting here fishing for burns. So I've clicked 2 Scalds, didn't get it. Third one's got to work. It's a 30% chance.
Yeah, so it got to be like 1 out of 3. And
no burns. I really wanted to neutralize the leftovers on Umbreon. and try to make that thing a little less useful. But we didn't get it. The burn would have been nice. Rose Raid comes in, and Rose Raid is a threat.
Yes.
And it's really unfortunate. So I trying to make a decision. I think my Lodic is extremely important.
Yeah,
and I do forget.
Your only wall.
Yeah. I do forget that Mamoswine is. I was thinking that I still had the defensive Mamo from last week. I was like, I forgot that I was supposed to grab I was like, okay, you know, I'll put a choice band on here. It'll be max attack, max speed. It'll do a lot of damage. And then I was like, oh yeah, I'll leave leftovers on it. So it fooled me into thinking that I still had the defensive Mamo.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Instead of thinking that, you know, you had that the attacker one. When you had the attacking one, you thought it was more defensive. Oof.
Yeah. So I get destroyed by a leaf storm is the short story. And that's my sort of quote unquote misplay. I don't know if it's really even a misplay.
I mean, anything
right
had to take that
Lodic.
hit. Yeah, because you definitely had to keep my Lodic, and I don't think anything was helping that, you know, that hit.
Yeah. So a jetpack goes off, which is actually advantageous for me because now I get momentum.
Right. And the Rosa Raid was so scary even to like the rest of your team. So now that it's out, you know, you get to bring something in on whoever he brings in.
Exactly. You know, and I was sitting here and I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, this is what it's like to battle me.
Yeah, just kind of thinking. Yeah, because like you said, he kind of flipped the script with the Scald.
Yeah, so no offense to Mountai, Coach Mountai, you know, I get it. You got to sit there. You got to think through your moves, especially when you have a defensive team that can't put out a lot of attack. So I get it. You know, you've got the time to pick your moves, and that's deserving. But it does take from the battle. It does. So he brings in Vicable, which I had contemplated going into Butterfree. But I didn't want to get Butterfree going. Yeah, but I actually go for the Surfetched, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just go for the knockoff. It's a nice, easy play. And we get rid of the Black Sludge on Galarian Weeju, which I do think is important long term. But I do now have to switch again, and of course my switch is my Lodic. I'm not thinking. We're just clicking buttons out here. You saw how quick I made that move.
Yeah, you wasted no time, bro. But like you said, you know, Weezing being that immensely defensive wall, bro. Like after getting hit by rock slides, getting hit by knockoffs, like it's still just eating them for breakfast.
I mean, the damage will rack up. The para is nice. Maybe we get some para rolls down the line. And here we go. I'm just fishing for Scald burns again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you predicted the switch here into Umbreon.
I was actually, I kept waiting for Vicavolt. And I wanted to go Ice Beam. I had thought about going Ice Beam, which would have been clutch. But again, you know, I'm in the same situation here, expecting a Leaf Storm. So I'm like, crap, here we are again.
Another Leaf Storm.
So I'm like, you know what? Let me check out Heliolisk real quick.
Let me check what his stats are looking like.
I was like, oh, maybe he lives one better than Mamo. And then I checked the Mamo, and this is where I realized I brought the wrong Mamo. I was like, oh, that was not good special defense. So like, let's go out to Heliolisk.
Yeah, Heliolisk
I don't want to lose
has
Grim.
Pretty good base special defense. I'm pretty sure it's like 100.
Yeah, it's not bad. So we go out to Heliolisk, and thankfully, actually, I get lucky. He goes for Sledge Bomb.
Ooh.
Or Spikes. He goes Spikes.
Okay.
So I get a free switch into Heliolisk, who I'm just ready to fire off a Hyper Voice.
Ready to start hitting hard.
Let's hit some things. And I was sitting here, the reason it took me extra second to click it was I was like, oh, maybe he's Soundproof Como O. But he wasn't.
Ooh.
And surprisingly, the Rose Raid lives my Hyper Voice. And I get lucky, he goes Sludge Bomb instead of Leaf Storm. Probably because he doesn't have the eject pack anymore and he doesn't want to lose a special attack.
Yeah.
And I call his plays here again. You know, I'm like, all right, he's gonna switch.
Right.
I'm guessing he's not gonna let this go. And I'm calling him right. Like honestly, I played this match really well. I would personally say I outplayed Mountai in terms of the match. He just wins because he had stall.
More health on his side.
Yeah. I don't think that I got outplayed here. I had to sack Mamoswine, which he didn't have to sack anything because nothing would have been sackable. But I get the Butterfree in, and here's where playing fast is tough. I just want to see how fast Como-O is real quick. I forget his speed. I'm like, I couldn't remember if I'm faster or not, but I'm like, all right, let's just we'll go down to Sash. But you know what? Hey, we'll get a Sleep Powder off. Right. I'd been tempted to click Hurricane, but I was like, let's get this Sleep Powder. Let's get going. And I did forget that Roserade was still around, so that was an easy switch for him. Hurricane would have been a nice, easy middle ground play.
If you just click that Hurricane, looking at his team, the only good thing would have been Umbreon to come in on that, actually, because, but you didn't want to risk, like, going down to your Sash and, like, not getting the KO. I get that.
Yeah. So I can't sleep him, and I know he's faster. I'm going to go down to Sash. But I was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and get the Quiver Dance off so that we're faster and not worry about the Sleep Powder the next turn round when Como-O comes back in.
Oh, yeah, that does make sense, to be faster than everything here and then just be able to sleep, hit, rinse, repeat.
I mean, I immediately did realize, though, I was like, well, I mean, I'll get one KO with Butterfree, but that's it. I'll have to play some games with Sucker Punch Cinderace, but so I land the Hurricane, I get the KO, which is great, very cool.
Yes.
He did get the Sludge Bomb crit. Sludge Bomb wouldn't have put me down to nothing, but it doesn't matter on Butterfree.
Yeah, good thing you didn't get poisoned. 30% wasn't rolling your way, it wasn't rolling his way either. That would have been crazy.
Thank God. Yeah, for sure. Thank God. So we got very lucky there that we didn't get poisoned. We get to live. We got the Quiver Dance off. We get the KO with the Hurricane. We don't miss. And he's thinking through his moves. Like I said, I get it. This is the same thing that happens every week to everybody.
At a certain point, you kind of like take a second. You're like, dang, what do I do here even?
Yeah. And that's unfortunate. It shouldn't matter. But even if he has Sucker Punch, I'm going Sleep Powder. So he actually opts to Gigantamax his Cinderace because actually he didn't have Sucker Punch.
Right. And then like this G-Max off the start, I still respect the Sleep Powder just in case, if you just went for the Sucker Punch, it wouldn't have mattered. And, just getting something to sleep is always good for Butterfree.
So there goes my guaranteed turn of sleep. So now it's just RNG. Will he stay asleep? Can I roll the Hurricane? Can he hit himself in confusion? He was max HP. All of his entire team was all max HP, he said. Because he 100% played stall. He was like, I gotta play the timer. We don't get lucky. He wakes up in time, KOs. And this is pretty much the end of the match here because the timer's already about to come up.
Right.
And so it's just unfortunate. I think position-wise, I think I had enough in the bag. I still have my Gigantamax. And here I go Milotic because I'm like, all right, I'm a defensive unit. Even if he has high jump kick, maybe he misses. I should live. I don't know. I'm at 92 or 93, whatever.
Yeah, you should live. Ooh, spikes. Oh yeah.
Spikes damage happens. So I'm like thinking to myself, he's gonna switch preserve differential because right now he has the win. He has 5, I have 4. So he has the win. So that's why I don't go Scald and I click recover here because I'm like, all right, timer, the 60-second hadn't flashed. So I'm like, maybe I get a KO on something somehow. So it'll be important to have the recover.
What I would have liked to see maybe was you go into Grimmsnarl and like Gigantamax to just like start wrecking stuff. But Weezing would have been an easy switch in though.
Yeah. And so he goes Pyro Ball as the timer comes up. Ooh. I live it.
Just barely.
And he almost goes down to Life Orb, which is such a bummer because I think there's a chance. Como-O was full, Umbreon was pretty full, Vikavolt was pretty full, Weezing was pretty full. He probably still wins because he went max HP on everything, but yeah, just kind of a tough one to lose. Then he makes the switch to guarantee his win. So a tough, annoying match, just kind of, ruined by the timer. I think I outplayed here. I think I played better, and I finally get the burn. That's also just like a big slap in my face.
With 7 seconds left. And I think like going for the recover there instead of the Scald was better in the long run. Like, let's say there was no timer, you definitely need Milotic to be healthy. So, like,
Yes.
going for the recover there, it just makes sense,
Yep, true as well. Yeah, you're right. And which I would have also probably gone down to burn after the Scald went off.
Mm-hmm. Right,
So
like, and then it would have
really
just been,
So recover was the play. It's not even a misplay. It's just kind of unfortunate that I couldn't get it taken care of. But I actually pick up a loss, unfortunately, to Coach Mountai, and it was a 5-4.
Yeah.
5-4, which is super annoying when I didn't even bring my stall.
When you weren't even trying to stall and it still went to time.
And I'm not, honestly, and I've said it too before, I'm not a stall player. Like, I'm not actually, this team actually isn't meant to stall. I know it's got Chansey and it's got Milotic and it's got, who else? Dewblade and Noctowl and stuff. Like, yes, I have a very tanky team, but they're just meant to take some hits while my offensive units can get a switch in and do some work. Right. I'm not a stall player. Like, I'm not trying to go to timer here. So, I mean, just a kind of unfortunate match. He prepped well for a stall match. Yeah. I don't know how it would have gone had I have actually brought stuff with
if you brought like Chansey.
If I would have brought like Toxic Chansey and some other stuff as well. I mean, I don't know.
Yikes.
But I'm happy to see Butterfree got some work in.
Yeah,
Butterfree got a KO.
Got one. You got one on the board. Let's see it climb the ranks.
One more turn of sleep and I win the match.
Yeah.
Hands down, I win the match.
You just, what is it? Just Hurricane again, Wheezing.
Because he can go Umbreon, Bug Buzz KOs. He can go Vikavolt, Hurricane KOs. Yep. He can go Komo, Hurricane KOs. He can go Wheezing. It was defensive, not specially defensive, so I'm guessing Hurricane KOs.
It would have probably.
So literally, he's literally one turn away from getting swept by Butterfree.
Yeah. Unfortunate. And like not getting any Scalds, unfortunate. I mean, like burns earlier,
Yeah.
You hate to see it. But I mean, you definitely showed out what your team could do outside of the stall, which he probably was definitely expecting, like you said, like you saying before, you definitely have some offensive threats, and your team is just threatening. So I'm looking forward to.
I think I played well. I'm proud of the play. I think the team performed well from an offensive standpoint. It's just tough when there's just no time.
Yeah. Hopefully, I know he said he was trying to set up the land thing. Hopefully that can work eventually, so that things like this wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Yep.
But on that note, let's hop over to my battle. So I'm ready to hop into my battle in 3, 2, 1. So this battle I was going up against Coach Salt in the Celadon City Porygons, and after getting decimated week 1, like I said, I wanted to switch up. I wanted to get some Pokemon off the bench, and I wanted to see what this mini Weezing could do with the neutralizing gas.
It's the Weezing lead.
It's the Weezing lead from the SRL season 2. We brought it back. And of course we get paralyzed turn 1. Like you guys saw, I was trying to set up my Toxic Spikes, and I was surprised to see Gallade with Thunder Wave. That really threw me off. I just wanted to set up my Toxic Spikes, like I said, so that his team could just keep getting hurt. We've seen it before. I'll probably be doing it again, nothing new. But the thing I want to say is we don't take the Zen headbutt like I figured I would, like a Weezing would, So
are you max offense, max HP?
Yes, I am. Yeah. As we just saw. Yes.
It's still a coughing.
Yo, I don't know how a Weezing would have taken that, but like coughing just really let me down there, and I was like, let me take you out. You set up the Toxic Spikes. Let's go bring in Caparajah so that we could start hitting things really hard. And I have the Steel Roller so that my Gmax Steel Surge could be like, I believe 140 base power instead of 120 from like an Iron Head or something. So it's just like a little bit of extra damage. And you know, setting up.
Interesting.
I wanted to go for like some hazard stacking. You know, we got toxic.
Was anyone around here a terrain setter?
No, not in this match.
Oh.
But I figured
outside of this, you had no way to use a steel move.
Yeah, no. Well, no, I actually had Iron Head just in case. Oh my god,
did you?
Yeah, as the last move, I had Iron Head. So there we just knock out the Gallade after he goes for an Earthquake, and I was really confused as to why he didn't go for close combat, because it would have done way more damage. I did the calcs, it wouldn't have KO'd unless he was Life Orb, but you know, it would have just set up for something to come in and definitely just get the revenge KO. What do you think about like the Earthquake there?
Yeah, I don't know. Weird play. I think close combat was just easy. When your team has such a fighting weakness,
yes,
and you have a ground immunity in Mantane, and well, I mean, if he noticed the neutralizing gas on Coughing instead of Levitate, that's just a weird play.
Yeah,
it was a bad play.
Earthquake.
It was a bad play.
Yeah, and then he brings in Drifloon, goes for the Shadow Ball, can't get the KO even after a crit. So that's why I'm saying, like, if he would have went for the close combat, Copper would have went down on that turn instead of like being able to take out the Drifloon and then go down. So yeah, that really
so that's unfortunate.
Here I just figured he might go into Terrakion since it's his fastest Pokemon, so I send out Cobalion, which is designed to deal with Terrakion, and I figured I could just Volt Switch since I should be faster anyways. Here I ran a quick calc because I was surprised. I forgot that Steel types are super effective on Rock, so I saw the super effective and I was like, let me see if this KO. So I ran the calc and you know, I decided to go for it. Where
well, and that's, you know, and also the Steel Surge, the Steel Spikes are doing massive damage.
Yeah,
when it comes
did like
in
25.
Yeah, that's Steel Surge, like from Gmax Copper just puts in so much work in a battle.
Facts. What did you think of the special Cobalion?
I love it. You know, I love it. I remember way back when you drafted Virizion, I think I was the one who told you. I was like, you know, because I got screwed in Gen 7 and I ended up with a modest Virizion. I ran a special set.
Yeah,
it wasn't terrible.
You know, you just put me on after that. Like I said, you know, we got some returning characters from last season. Last time we had Virizion, this time we got Cobalion. And then, you know, the wheezing, but not really as a Coughing. Here I didn't want to go for Focus Miss, and I figured because I have the Focus Sash, you know, he close combats, drops his Spadef, and it just gives me the KO here, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I 100% would have expected it, and I think it's a nice, easy play. You know how I feel about Focus Miss, so yeah, it's this. You're just eating up his team. There's 4 down, just 2 to go, and things are looking strong. What was your thought process here on Cobalion versus Dreadnought from a speed perspective?
Well, I figured I was faster, but like we said, with that Focus Miss, I didn't want to risk it, and Cobalion, like I said, with Dreadnought and Arctovish in the back, he could have came in and just hit, like, well, if he hit a Focus Blast, just in case. And I knew he had to Gigantamax this turn to like try to get some momentum back in his favor. So I just figured it made no sense to let Cobalion go down here. And I'm surprised that he didn't set up the rain. That was one of my biggest things in this match.
He can't set the rain.
Well, does Solrock get Rain Dance?
Solrock was probably his rain setter. But I mean, if you meant, I mean, Solrock never got a chance to do anything because he got obliterated. But I don't know if you meant like for Dreadnought to set it up. But
no.
I probably would have fired off the Focus Blast and let Cobalion go down, knowing that he can set up the Stealth Rocks. Because I probably would have thought through, I'm like, okay, his Gmax move is to set up Stealth Rock, so I can't bring Cobalion in anyway. I probably would have gone for the Focus Blast and just like let it rip.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I realized that too after switching Cobalion out and then the Stealth Rock setup. I'm like, wait, Cobalion comes in and dies the next time. He actually can't do anything now. So I realized that really late. I figured
I was
could
like,
just...
I thought you were gonna sweep. I was like, Cobalion's gonna hit this focus blast. It's gonna wreck the Dreadnought, and then we're gonna get Arctivision. It's gonna hit the flash cannon, and it's gonna go down. I mean, it's just gonna be Cobalion's just gonna wreck this team.
Yeah, I should have risked it.
The steel type showed out this week.
Yo, definitely. And just to catch up a little bit, I figured if Reboot couldn't get the kill, I could bring in it would do a big chunk. But Reboot put his big boy pants on, put its turtleneck up on its face, and just hit both these high jump kicks and ended the battle before Excadrill or Mantine could touch the field. So I want to say, I had a pretty convincing win after the tough week 1 loss.
I always like to call it commanding. That was a commanding because you were in command that entire battle. You didn't get discouraged by the first turn para. You just got those T spikes up, which I do think played a role.
Yeah,
combination of T spikes. Yeah. So it was good. Fantastic match. Great play. I think you brought what was needed. It would be interesting to hear Salt's thought process behind his team, because it doesn't stack up well, to be frank. I mean, it doesn't look good.
For like some steel types, right? I was surprised he didn't bring Klefki with the Rain Dance like he did in week 1. He had that, and that's what kind of, I think I was Swift Swim Mantine this time, or I might have been Water Absorb. I don't remember, but I was ready for some rain versus sand.
Yeah, to see like the Soul Rock and to an extent the Arctivish. I know Arctivish is strong and it can do some stuff, especially if you can get it going. But like Terrakion, Gallade, those two make sense because you have such a fighting weakness.
Yeah.
And I get why the G-Maxer comes, but then like the other three, it's like kind of like, what's your thought process? I'm interested.
Only Salt knows.
Yep.
So, I mean, it looks like we're bringing back a recurring theme from the first time we did this, where I win or you win or we both lose. I mean, most of the time it's been back and forth. So once I saw that you had taken an L, I figured, I was just gonna win. No offense to Coach Salt, he played great, but it's just in the cards. It's the curse.
I knew I had it when I saw your loss. Thanks. Yeah.
So on that note, let's head into what we're both facing in week 3. All right, so going into this week 3, me, coach of the New York Knickets, I'm going up against Sen and the Cerulean City Mewtwo. Now, Sen is the champion of last season, and another thing to note is that he actually beat me I think it was like week 3 of last season pretty convincingly. It was kind of a bad loss on my part. A lot of Paris was going on, but so I'm looking forward to trying to come back. I wasn't able to go up against him after that, so I definitely want to make a statement. Another thing I want to point out is that Sen was undefeated last season, except for the person right next to me, Shiny Shuriken. He actually took a game off. So yeah, this one is definitely not going to be an easy one.
Sorry to ruin that perfect season for you, Sam.
Yo, he was looking good until the Mimikyu pulled up on him. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, from a G-Max matchup, I know Caporaja has access to ground type attacks as well as Gengar with a Max Knuckle, but I know a Max Knuckle is nerfed to like 95 damage instead of a Focus Blast, which would be 120. So G-Max matchup, I'm looking very confident. Even maybe running a Chople Berry on some of my Pokemon to resist hits from like Gengar, Hitmonchan, or Scizor with the superpower, Yeah. I'm looking for him to bring Thwackey because, he was kind of showing it off week 1. A Grassy Glide can still mess up Sandaconda, Excadrill, Gigalith. Yeah, those. So I'm looking forward to him bringing that. And like maybe Ribombee setting up sticky webs. That'll definitely nerf my sand. So yeah.
Sure, for sure.
Or even like Dracovish, you see, like he, I forgot to even mention that. But I mean, you know, when you know something is coming, it's kind of easy to prep for it. So water absorb Mantine might be a little bit hard for him to play around.
Yeah, it's an easy one. You know, a good call out is Dracovish gets access, I think, to Ice Fang. So that strong jaw ability, I think, I mean, that would do a lot of damage on Mantine, but Mantine's got just, it's such a great wall. It just does really, really well. Even though it's mostly specially defensive, it still does well. It takes some hits. And if Dracovish locks itself into Ice Fang, I mean, it's a pretty easy switch for you.
Right.
So
yeah, Ice Fang looks like it just kind of eats through my team. But
super easy switching to Gigalith too, you know.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to bringing Shedinja along with Mantine just to counter that Dracovish, you know, if he like locks himself into Vicious Run and Mantine is down. Ooh, you know, I could just bring in Shedinja. Sure. Shedinja got Poltergeist this DLC, so you know, get to see an item, get to hit hard. So yeah, I'm looking forward to using that bad boy. Other than that, like I said, things that might be scary is like Miltank and Mandibuzz, Meowstic with screens. I wonder why he picked up War Turtle. But you know, you can't count it out. Does that thing get Shell Smash?
I think so.
Oof. Shell Smash and War Turtle, watch out. But yeah, I'm looking forward.
Don't sleep on the second Evos.
Yo, after seeing what Reboot did, I definitely cannot. I'll tell you that much. So yeah.
Well, best of luck in your matchup.
Hopefully it's looking better than it did season 1 because I kind of got trashed. So let's hop over to your matchup. So here we got our friend Shiny Shuriken. He's going up against Super Sartans and the Lavender Town Gengars.
Yeah, and for those of you guys who followed my season 2, there might be some familiarity out here. He's got Mimikyu, Galvantula, and Inteleon.
Wow.
All 3 of which were on my team last season. So let's see if he can play them better than I did.
Ooh.
Galvantula is looking good to slow down some of my speedier mons if I choose to go that option. But honestly, webs don't bother the bulk of my team.
Right.
I'm not fast. I'm not trying to play fast for the most part, unless I want to. But yeah, I mean, I'm a good mid-speed kind of tier player with this team that I have.
Yeah.
So he can go first all he wants. He doesn't really. He's got some walls with Amoonguss and Mudsdale. You know, granted, I felt the sting of this over in the PWD. Sleep clauses are a thing, and they will take away a win.
They will sweep it from under you.
So he could put something to sleep, but if you also can't kill it, you know, who cares?
Does Xatu bounce back Sleep Powder? Not that it would matter since Amoonguss is a grass type. Oh, okay.
Xatu does bounce back magic bounce Spore. Yes.
Wow.
And it bounces back sticky webs. It bounces back rocks from Mudsdale. It bounces back everything. So, yeah, Xatu which is why I picked it up. You know, so there's a lot of options for me out here to do things, and to kind of cause some havoc for this team that wants to play a little more offensive. And Dry Skin Heliolisk.
Yeah,
checks
Inteleon. Perfect.
I mean, go for it, bro. All you want. But I can also rock that awesome Grass Knot for that heavy Mudsdale.
Yeah.
My team stacks up well. It does stack up well.
Does.
So if you think that you're checking me, I can hit Inteleon with the same Grass Knot. If you don't want to switch and you want to try and call my bluff, go ahead, leave Inteleon in.
And then
you know, if you think I'm going Thunderbolt and you want to go easy Mudsdale, you know, so there's a lot of great stuff out here.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of immunities. Great. You know, I've got the water immunity with Heliolisk. I have
Does Seeking
fighting
have Lightning Rod?
Yes, it does.
Ooh.
Yep. I've got the ground immunity with Noctowl, Butterfree, Xatu.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're looking pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident about this matchup. I haven't prepped yet for it. Actually, this is my first look at the team. But yeah, I mean, I'll do some prep work and try to get into the lab and see what we can do. I'm trying to utilize the full extent of my team this season. Last season, we drafted Onyx for our last slot, and he never made an appearance. So
I
want to try and get everybody.
Man. I was waiting for that Onyx to pop out.
This entire team is stacked.
Can we see a Whimsicott?
Could you see a Whimsicott? Absolutely. Whimsicott looks great this matchup with Prankster Toxic. Yeah. I love it. I love firing off some Toxics left and right. And Whimsicott does super well. It can bounce around. It's immune to that spore from a Moongiss. It's going to be able to match up decently with Mimikyu for play roughs. So, I mean, I'm loving this. And I think we got a good matchup here. Yeah. The G-Max matchup, Grimmsnarl versus Corviknight. It's all right. If I don't want to say one piece of it because I don't want to if my opponent sees this, but there's one thing that they could do to really mess up the G-Max matchup. But for the most part, my matchup looks pretty good because of my massive attack stat and
the access to that guy gets.
Yeah, my access to the combination of fighting type moves along with I can get Thunder Punch, I can rock out all of my Prankster moves so I can set up screens, I can get the Thunder Wave off and really cause that thing some havoc if we do have it.
Grimmsnarl just being a great pickup in any draft match.
It is.
So versatile.
I'd love to try and get through this match, but I do actually foresee this one also going to timer because I'm probably not going to go hyper offense.
Well, hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully, you could just break and run through the team if you don't overbook yourself. Get some good prep going.
Yeah,
I'd love to see this match really taking over for your side.
Yep.
Like you said, what was it? A commanding win? Yeah, I would love to see that.
Commanding win with this team is probably going to be kind of tough unless I play somebody very poor, which I don't think we have anybody that's really too terrible in the league here. So.
All right. But yeah, on that note, if Shiny doesn't have anything else to say, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out and watching the video. I love doing these weekly analysis with Shiny Shuriken. Love collabing with the other creators in Creator Haven. Always a great time. And these matches were definitely something fun to go over. I gotta say, with my match and Shiny's respectively. Anything you gotta say, Shiny?
Let's please break the streak and both get W's next week.
Yes, let's both get W's. Yes. Other than that, if you guys like the video, make sure to leave a like. Like I said before, if you missed the last week's weekly analysis, hop over to Shiny Shuriken's channel, watch that. The videos are kind of long, but it's a lot of stuff that goes into it, like we always say. And other than that, I'm gonna leave you guys looking forward to the battles coming up this week. Peace.
Later.
Oh my god, I'm missing the stopping recording.